Odele is co-hosting with RockTree Capital for RockTree OG Talk series, where RockTree brings together the greatest minds in Web3 today to bring you the most powerful real-time OG insights in the world. Today, we are discussing global crypto regulations, and let's officially begin today's panel. Today, I'm honored to speak with Joy Lam, partner of Baker and McKenzie, Masa Kikuchi, founder and CEO of Secured Finance, and Omer Ozden, chairman of RockTree Capital.
The government is literally rolling out the welcome mat for these sort of bright minds and leading participants in the industry who are very focused on providing services and serving their customers in a manner that complies with regulatory standards and really looks after investors' interests. So I would certainly say, to those people, whether they're in the US or elsewhere, although we have actually had a lot of people who are based in the US on the phone saying, what can we do if we come to Hong Kong, and how do we do it? There is a huge opportunity, I think, for compliance-minded participants to come to Hong Kong and be part of what really is a transformation of financial services and capital markets that we're seeing here. It really is a very significant opportunity, and we're at the beginning. And what we're seeing now in terms of the exchange licensing, it's just the first step. It's the first part of it, and you can see very easily how other parts of the ecosystem are going to develop in Hong Kong, leveraging off the very unique proposition that we have in Hong Kong with an international financial center that is open to digital assets and has a very robust regulatory regime. You can see how traditional financial institutions who are looking to move into digital assets would look very favorably on exchanges that are licensed in Hong Kong because the standards are so robust. I think we can certainly expect that we will start to see approvals in principle in the first half of next year, because for anyone that was operating before the regime started, in order to continue operating, their license application needs to be accepted by the SFC before the end of February.
The situation in the United States. Over the past 100 days, the federal regulators, led by one commissioner, Gary Gensler, the SEC, plus you have some other regulators in DC as well, but not as active, are taking an extremely hostile approach to Web3. And this has scared a lot of the top American investors and the projects. And actually, a lot of investors have stopped investing into token specifically or moved to other areas. And it's meant that we've seen in New York and other places a lot of really good deals emerge that are that we've been investing into at even lower valuations than what they were before the 100 days. It means that jobs and capital is leaving as well. And so this is a bad trend. And it's very similar to what we experienced in Beijing, where our headquarters are in 2021, when also the government there also took a hostile approach to crypto. I think the amazing story is that within approximately 18 months, there was a different take that emerged in Greater China, specifically Beijing and Hong Kong. And through Hong Kong, we've seen some amazingly clear and more permissive regulatory development in that jurisdiction. Many people think that technological innovation and growth is based on code, like coding and developing, but it's also based on legal code. And that is the responsibility of the lawyers. That's the responsibility of the politicians, the regulators, the legislators, to come up with advanced code so that technological innovation can flourish. And so that's also my responsibility too. So that's what helped drive and motivated the article. I see potentially a yen stablecoin coming out. And so how can that, I think it seems to me that the Japan, because there's such high endorsement for Web3 from the highest level of Japanese government and the legislators. What it means is it gives a blessing for the institutions with the massive amounts of money to start coming into Web3.
I see 2 points. In terms of the Japanese yen stablecoin for the Japanese economy, I think it's really important to stimulate local economy by using the stablecoin as a payment and a commercial settlement. And as we know, the major company like NTT Docomo is the largest mobile phone company, declared investment $4 billion to build like a wallet. So, and also the Mitsubishi, who is leading the consortium, is also, well, I have the KYC bank account, who is thinking about connecting all the retail people, making to have the crypto wallet without worrying about losing private key, etc. So can bring more reliability to the end users, so that people can use it as on a daily life. And the reason why I'm saying it's so confidently is because I was watching the global regulators trends like a BIS, Bank for International Settlements. And if you take a look carefully, they actually published last December called Prudential Treatment of Crypto Asset Exposures. It's like this is a rule book for all global central banks. All country central bank has to follow. And it gives a clear guidelines of how to treat cryptocurrency more secure way, more confident way. And that's why Japan take initiatives to change the law to pursue stablecoins, because stablecoin is not considered to be a risky asset. So banks are happy to deal with this. So yeah, this situation is coming. And also in this paper, what's most exciting to me is it allows, it gives banks green light to hold up to 2% of Bitcoin exposures on their tier one capital from 2025 January. So let's say if all banks allocate 1% of tier one capital into Bitcoin, we could see a $3 trillion surge in the Bitcoin market. That is 6 times its current size.
Not only did the SEC sue Coinbase and Binance, but they filed the lawsuit 3 hours before senior executive at Coinbase was set to testify in the hearings against the SEC itself. And so, as you mentioned, Coinbase has developed this campaign, Moving America Forward, and that is related to Web3 innovation in the United States. But the actions by the SEC are clearly bad faith. That timing is impossible unless there's a motivation to scare people and to intimidate them. And people are rising up against it. So right now in the United States, you have the crypto exchange that has spent the most money on regulatory adherence. And you also have the largest exchange in the world being sued by the SEC. Actually, it just shows that it's almost impossible to meet the regulatory standards in the United States if the group that spent the most money on it is getting sued. I think it's also important to note that the SEC is going after these third parties, such as exchanges, for saying that these tokens are securities, but it's never actually gone after one of the major issuers of these tokens. They have the issue with XRP, but all the other ones that they claim are securities, they've never actually gone through it. So what they're hoping for, I think, is similar to what happened with Kraken. They go after Kraken, and then Kraken, instead of fighting it, which could cause harm to Kraken, they just pay a penalty like 30 million that they paid instead of dragging it out. I think that's the tactic of the SEC here. not to actually deal with the issue, but to scare people not to fight. You have on one side the SEC scaring everybody by suing, like I said, the exchange that has spent the most on regulatory compliance, Coinbase, and the largest exchange in the world, Binance. And then on the other side, you've got all these at the exact same time. You've got all these large groups on Wall Street starting to buy up Bitcoin, filing for Bitcoin ETF. Now they've released their own exchange by three major Wall Street groups, which you might be familiar with. Also, there's talks about a Wall Street group acquiring Grayscale and all these other activities that haven't been released in the public yet that I'm aware of, where Wall Street money is moving in while this regulator is scaring the like the native crypto groups in crypto and the retail and the other institutional investors. Both of them are happening at the same time. So I think it's probably we apply this towards our investment thesis as a private investor into deep tech and crypto. We started investing 100 days ago, much more aggressively because we see what's happening in Asia. But actually, it's validated now. While everybody's scared and valuations are dropping, you see the big money coming into crypto, and so we're very happy with the direction RockTree is going with these trends.
In addition to AML, also very much on investor protection and market integrity. So yes, it's another sign in general that Hong Kong welcomes this kind of activity.
I recently engaged with Secretary General of the LDP's Web3 project team. LDP is Japanese ruling party, and I was so amazed by their speed and execution and understanding of the importance of Japanese government brings transparency and proposes nuanced regulatory structure. So in order to strengthen the national power, they understood the clear guideline, clear rule is really the way we should do instead of bringing ambiguity or hostile action. So I'm so happy with this situation. And actually, since last month, Japan amended the Payment and Settlement Act and just given the banks go ahead to issue stablecoins. And Japanese major banks create a consortium to stimulate the corporate payment and settlement in stablecoin. SEC is a strong regulator, but doesn't have the power to change the law. But in Japan, the people who have the power to change the law is pushing Web3 forward. It's really, I think it's one notch difference. So from here, I would say, yeah, I'm so positive in this area. There's no people who is successfully built the huge market. It's actually 1 year, its capital market space is really massive. In terms of OTC derivatives, interest rate derivatives is the largest. It's over $600 trillion market size. But this huge market is untouched by DeFi. And that's why we want to build the yield curve to bridge the gap between money market and capital market. So we are so unique in this position. When it comes to DeFi, mostly the regulatory concerns is KYC and AML. And recently, the technology is coming to maturity, like let's say ZK KYC, zero knowledge KYC. With this technology, you can preserve privacy, but you can also prove that the KYC is properly applied. So this kind of technology advancement will help apply the regulatory regime into the DeFi space. And also AML, we have AML Oracle, so smart contract. If you give your address or transaction hash, you can get the scoring, AML scoring something. So this technology advancement definitely is helping the DeFi to move forward.
Eric Adams he came into power the same year as John Lee, which is 2022. And Eric Adams ran on a campaign of making New York a crypto-friendly hub, an international hub for crypto. Get this, guys, he even took his first 3 salary payments in Bitcoin. He is the mayor of the most populous city and the wealthiest city in the United States. And the one regulator in Washington, D.C. is not listening to him, and it's not listening to the 50 million Americans that you have used crypto. And we don't believe that this works under the U.S. Democratic framework. And so people need to speak out. The Web3 industry is being driven in a direction that is not healthy for innovation. And the Web3 industry can pick which jurisdiction it wants to be in. So I think this is a big wake up call. There's a big wave now starting that what Gensler has been doing for Web3, a wave that people are questioning whether he should continue to keep his seat as a regulator. There's in Congress, there's certain congressmen such as Tom Emmer, which on my team, RockTree team, Kevin O'Brien and I have been working closely with prior to during the Libre hearings when Facebook was applying to have a stablecoin. He introduced a new law in the United States to overhaul the SEC, to change it, and also to remove Gary Gensler for what American politicians are saying is bad faith regulating, unfair to American innovation, to protect the industry incumbents on Wall Street. So this is starting. People are pushing back. Coinbase is pushing back. We're going to start to see the government of New York also pushing back. And so this is the direction we're going in.
The SFC has also indicated that it is going to provide further guidance to the market around security tokens in particular, and the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, which basically regulates banks in Hong Kong, that has indicated that it will provide or it will introduce a regulatory regime for stablecoins by 2024. And then just last week, the Hong Kong government announced the establishment of a task force, which is really aimed at promoting the development of Web3 in Hong Kong. And this task force is chaired by the government's financial secretary, and it includes industry participants, key government officials, and regulators. They really do signal that the government is very committed to embracing digital assets and, trying to foster the growth of Web3 and digital assets here as a strategic priority for them. I think one byproduct of the challenging environment in the US really is it's a golden opportunity for jurisdictions like Hong Kong, where they are being very proactive and actively courting the industry. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority has already flagged that it is introducing stablecoin regulation by 2024.
What secured finance has been doing, the trends.
Yeah. Yes, we are growing fast, and one of the key KPI we are following is the community growth. So as a Web3 project, it's really important to grow our community. And community, we're building on Twitter and Discord. We have over 53,000 Twitter followers and 54,000 Discord members. And actually, we are ranked number 4 among all DeFi in this industry. We are still in a test net. We're going to live in the last half, but we are already has a number 4 size of the market. I mean,
what are the top 4? Tell us what the top 4 are.
Uniswap,
Yeah.
SushiSwap,
Sushi, yeah.
Sushi,
Third.
and yeah, let's see, Uniswap, SushiSwap, and awesome. We surpassed Aave, so number 3.
Awesome. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah. You're number 4 now, right?
Number
correct?
4.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. We are a bridge between East and West. So we're a bridge between capital markets for East and West, Web3 projects for East and West, and we help projects grow internationally because we believe to be a truly large protocol in blockchain, you really need to be global. So your market has to look all these different areas. And actually, North America and Asia are the 2 biggest markets in blockchain. It's the bear markets where we see the top projects come out because those are the founders that are so serious about building. And we are investing into projects in New York, Silicon Valley, Texas, Canada, Germany, Ukraine, Japan, Hangzhou, and other places like that. And we're super excited about them. And those projects are growing, they're working hard, and we really look forward to what's coming down for 2024, which potentially could be more of a bull market. And you're going to see some amazing founders, amazing top talent coming from RockTree over the next 2 years.